Hi, my name is Nicole Bauman, and this is my screencast for Module 5. So I am a kindergarten teacher, so we had to make a squishy circuit lesson plan. So the first part of the engineering process is to ask. So my questions were, what can I create with the squishy circuit? How can I relate it to my curriculum? And how can I make it age appropriate? So one possible solution would be creating an insect that lights up at nighttime. Insects are a huge part of our curriculum. The students do about a three-week research project on insects. So I thought this would be a great way to wrap up the unit, apply all of their prior knowledge that they just learned about insects, and put it into this fun hands-on activity. So first, the plan. Some questions that I was asking myself is, first off, what is a squishy circuit? I am familiar with circuits. I have done more paper circuits than squishy circuits, so I was curious to know how the Play-Doh came into play and things like that. So I wanted to first research about circuits. Then I had to figure out what materials were provided to me, and then what more would I need. I was also curious how I was going to turn the circuit into an insect, and then I had to decide which body part I wanted to light up on the insect. So then I went on creating. So if I'm being honest, I actually followed along with one of the examples that came with the kit, which I was very appreciative of. So the first part that I created was the body of my insect. So I had a top and a bottom layer of the body, and then I put the insulation layer in between the top and the bottom, making sure that they were not touching. Then I added the legs to the bottom layer. I had to make sure that the legs weren't touching the top layer, and then I added the wings to the top layer, making sure again that the wings weren't touching the bottom layer. Oops. There we go. And then my last step was to attach the LEDs and the terminals. I was following along with the circuit, and I thought it was really important that they were giving pointers on where to place the LEDs and the terminals. So with the LEDs, you had to make sure that the longer wire was going in the bottom part of your insect, and then the shorter wire was going in the top part. And then same thing with the terminals. There was a specific way you had to put them in. So the red terminal had to go into the bottom, and the black terminal had to go into the top. I actually didn't follow along with that part, so my LEDs weren't lighting up at first. I was very confused, so I was playing around with it a little bit. I was actually able to figure it out by myself before I went back to the paper and realized it told me exactly how to set it up. So again, that's something important to know before going into this project. So to improve, I would just provide my students with different materials. So pipe cleaners, toothpicks, googly eyes, different color Play-Doh, just allowing them to choose what materials they wanted to use to create their insects and to add to their insects. I only use the materials provided to us by the kit, but I would definitely supply more to my students. And then I would also like to gain more knowledge to do it myself. So I did follow along with the example that they gave us in the kit, but I want to make sure that I have a strong foundation going into this project before giving it to my students to do by themselves. So my lesson plan is attached to the module, so I didn't include that in here, but this is for figure 5.1. I gave yeses for all of them. The only one that got a somewhat was, does the lesson allow for multiple acceptable and creative approaches for successfully solving the problem? So the students are coming up with their own insect and deciding which body part is going to light up. So that would be the somewhat part that they do get to kind of choose that and come up with a creative approach with that. But since they all are going to be doing the circuit with me, that's why I kind of left it with the somewhat part. So yeah, thanks.